Hi, this is Kyle from excel@esl.com. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to discuss the one thing you can do to increase your IELTS speaking band score. This is an incredibly important thing that you should keep in mind before taking your IELTS speaking test. The IELTS test is set up as a conversation between you and the examiner. The examiner will be scoring your ability to use English well. That's it. They aren't marking you on how true what you say is or not. That's why I always encourage my students to say what's easiest for them. If you're asked a question on the test that is too difficult for you to answer truthfully, answer it in a way that's easy for you instead. This is especially useful for the second part of the speaking test. During this part, if you focus on answering it in an easy way, then you don't have to worry too much about what you're going to say. You can focus on hitting each part of the question and answering it effectively. Let's take a little look at an example together and see what I mean. So here is an example of an IELTS speaking test part 2 question. This is a common question that you might get asked during your IELTS speaking test. So this particular question is about cooking. So let's say that you don't cook very often. So you don't have a dish that you like to cook. So maybe you eat out a lot. You go to fast food restaurants or regular restaurants very often and you don't actually cook. So you don't have a dish that you like to cook at all. If you went to your IELTS speaking test and you got this question and all you said was, I don't cook very often, so I don't have a dish I like to cook, and that's all you said, that's not a very good answer. You want to make sure during the IELTS speaking test part 2 that you answer each question on the card. So for this particular question, there's 4 questions on the card. You have to say the name of the dish, how you make it, if you use any special ingredients, and you have to explain if it's a popular dish in your country. So let me show you how to use the technique I mentioned earlier about saying what's easiest. To do this technique, you have to think about how to answer the question in a way that's easy and not difficult for you. So here's how I would do it. Let's say I'm a IELTS speaking candidate and I need to answer this question, but I don't cook very often. Here's what I would say. So the dish I like to cook the most is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I actually learned how to cook peanut butter and jelly sandwiches from Gordon Ramsay, the professional chef from the United Kingdom. I met him during a visit to the United Kingdom maybe 10 years ago. It was fantastic. But he taught me that you have to take the peanut butter and the knife and you have to get a little finesse while you scoop it, a little wrist action. You scoop it out with the wrist, you spread it on the bread, and then you are done. You're done with the peanut butter part. So then you need the jelly. So you take the jar of jelly, flip it upside down, open the bottom of it so it dumps out onto the bread, and then your jelly part is done. So you take the peanut butter, you take the jelly, and you stick it together as fast as you can, and then you're done. So I don't really use special ingredients during my while I make it. I don't use any special ingredients. Gordon Ramsay told me that's the best. You have to keep it plain. But that's how I like my peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So in Canada, I'm from Canada, everyone eats peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Some people eat 10 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in one day. It's crazy, isn't it? So for me, I like to eat 3 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches a day. 3 square meals a day of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches is good for me, I think. And that's my favorite thing to cook, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. So you can see how answering the question in this way is easy. You can say whatever you want. You can talk about how you met someone famous and they taught you how to make a good dish. You can say literally anything you want. It doesn't matter. All that matters is if you stay grammatical, you answer all of the questions on the sheet, and you make sure that you present your ideas in a logical way. That way, you don't have to worry too much about what you're going to say, or you can focus on how you say it and staying grammatically accurate. You won't lose any points for saying what's easy for you to talk about. And you don't have to get wild and crazy with your answers like I did. You can just say whatever you find easiest. Maybe you like to eat steak or you like to eat spaghetti, but you don't know how to cook it. Or maybe your favorite thing is an apple pie, but you don't know how to cook that either. You can talk about how you like to cook it anyways, because if it's easy for you to say, that's how you should be answering the question. Don't worry about the truthfulness of what you're saying, because you aren't marked on that. If you go to your IELTS speaking test and you relax and you talk about what's easiest for you to talk about, then you are guaranteed to experience some success during the IELTS speaking test. So that's all that I have for you today. My name was Kyle from excel@esl.com. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email at kyle@excel@esl.com. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Good luck on your future IELTS speaking test. Goodbye.